Welcome to The Sober Gay, a podcast about being sober in the LGBT community and beyond. I'm your host, Dillan Gay, and yes, that is my real last name. Hi, Aubrey.
Hello, Dylan. How is it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful. I am feeling rejuvenated walking from that rain today.
Yeah, we got rain here in Denver today.
We did. No snow. Thank goodness.
No snow. We're done, hopefully.
I think we are. We might have one more up its sleeve somewhere.
Maybe.
I'm excited.
So today we are going to be talking about something that is I keep hearing about over and over again and doing some research on imposter syndrome.
Imposter.
So the basis of imposter syndrome is basically going through actions in your life and not realizing you're there, not realizing what you're doing. Nothing really has a long-lasting effect on you. You're just kind of going through motions, that's kind of my understanding. It's very deep. That's not all it is. It's very deep.
It's kind of more like you feel like you are sober, but you feel like, and I guess I'm going to put it in the terms of sobriety. You feel like you're sober and you are sober, but you don't necessarily like believe that you should be in a way.
Yeah. In the beginning of sobriety, it was like I was going through the motions. I was feeling really good. And there was something that happened, I want to say maybe around probably like 6 or 7 months where it clicked. And the cloud went away or whatever,
That
and it was
pink cloud, yeah.
And it was kind of just like, okay, this is what it is. This is what I've done in the past. These are the things I've done to people, whatever. Live with it. And this is who I am. And a lot of the things I learn in therapy a lot is to just own it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, do what you do, but own it.
Mm-hmm.
And that means a lot too.
It really does. It really does, to own the actions that you're doing at the time. And I think owning sobriety it can be hard because it almost feels like it's foreign, and it almost feels like you shouldn't have it in a way. I guess I felt that way in the beginning of my sobriety. And I think that's a lot of the reason why I did relapse multiple times is I kind of felt this imposter syndrome where I couldn't own sobriety because I didn't feel like I deserved it.
Yeah, you didn't know what you were doing. You were getting sober because people told you to get sober.
Yeah. I was doing it to get sober for other people. I was doing it to get sober for the courts. But at the same time, even though like I felt great and I knew I felt great, there was just something like looming over me that was just like, you aren't worthy of it. You aren't good enough to be sober. And that's kind of like I guess for me it was biggest because I had to go to rehab for it, and I felt like I couldn't do it on my own, so I couldn't really get sober. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it wasn't your choice, like, in your heart, like,
Yeah.
it was someone telling you what you had to do. And when did it click for you? I wanna know, 'cause it worked
Honestly,
eventually.
and it did, and I think that it clicked for me when I moved to Portland, and I honestly think I needed that shift, that major shift in my life. There was just something that was back home for me that wasn't working. And I think it really clicked when I did go to Portland, and I kind of had this like epiphany of like I can do whatever I want. And I think I got that feeling because I was able to leave Michigan. I felt like I was free, and like I was able to do whatever I wanted. And I was like, okay, I'm not stuck in this cycle of getting drunk at the same places and all this. I could find new like joy out there. And I think that's really what stuck with me, was that I knew there was so much more out there outside of where I was.
Right, and it was almost like you had to get to a point where you could do whatever you want, as in, I could go drink right now if I wanted to, or I could be
Mm-hmm.
sober right now, and you have to just get to that point where you're like, "Yeah, I need to be sober."
Yeah. Oh yeah. I really did need to be sober. And I think so I went to Portland, left, I relapsed back at home. And that's kind of my main theme, is I tend to relapse back at home. It's just a normal thing for me. Not anymore, thank God. But um I did relapse, and I ended up in the hospital that weekend, and I was like, "I can't. This is so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do this because I am literally dying." Like, I was dying that night.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just I think that's where I was just like, I hit my rock bottom, is what they always say, hit your rock bottom, and I was like, "I need to go back and get help."
Yeah.
And I did, and I felt free again because I made that decision. I made that call. I wasn't pressured by my parents at that time.
It was your choice
Yeah.
finally. That's the couple first times I got sober, it was someone else's choice, and just doesn't click. It doesn't stick with you. I mean, I understand the courts have the best interest in your mind, and they're hoping it sticks with you, but
Mm.
it's you have to make that decision for yourself,
You
and
Everyone really does, and I don't I don't think that it makes you any less of a person to reach out and ask for that help for yourself, and I think that that might be the biggest thing is it's hard for us to reach out because we are loners.
yeah, yeah, and we don't wanna inconvenience anyone and think that, they have to help
Mhm.
us because that's the last thing we wanna do. We wanna help everyone else. We don't want them to think they have to help us or
Yeah.
seem vulnerable like that. That was a
Yeah.
big part for me, yeah.
What was your, like, defining moment? When did you start? Because I'm trying to get back to, like, the imposter thing is, like, really, when did you stop feeling like you were going through motions and you could
Um,
just really be. I know you said the pink cloud was gone and all that, but, like, when did you just stop feeling like you were just, like, doing this, like, routine every single day and you could just live your life again?
I the first thing I could think of was when I was drinking and I felt like an imposter, where it was just like everything I did, I just didn't put my heart into it. I would get big news and I wouldn't care. I would get into a little fender bender here and there. I
Mhm.
wouldn't care. Not here and there, but you know what I mean? Like things would happen to my car.
Mhm.
I wouldn't care. It was just like nothing was sticking. And I remember a switch, obviously, when it got closer to when I got sober. And I wanna say it was probably that summer, last summer. Um, was when I started, like, just looking up
Yeah.
different sobriety things and just because I just knew that there was a problem with me, but I didn't know where to start. So
Yeah.
so but, I mean, because now that I'm in so deep into sobriety and I'm in therapy and all that stuff, I just know I'm so much easier to pinpoint what was wrong, where it went wrong, and
Yeah.
but, I don't know, I don't know where it was that it switched for me. I just know there was a definitive moment where I was just everything just it just clicked, but I don't nothing happened. It
Yeah.
was just like an epiphany.
Yeah, it's almost like this, like, release,
Yeah,
the sigh of like, "Oh, okay, I can move forward
it's
now."
cathartic.
Yeah,
You can't explain
yeah.
the feeling. Yeah. What about when you were drinking? Did you feel that sense of being an imposter?
Um, Sometimes I felt like I was drinking just to be cool in a way. I don't really think that I was. I really, I drank because I actually really enjoyed it, but, like, there was a part of me that was just like, "This makes me look cool, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This makes
Totally.
this makes me look this way," and I think that that's where I felt like an imposter because it wasn't like. And I felt like I could have stopped,
Yeah.
but I never did. And I think that's also where I feel like I wasn't my true self because I feel like I could have stopped at any time, and I knew up here, I knew so well that I was not in a good place, but there was just something down here that was just like, "No, it's okay, like, fuck it."
Right. I would have those moments of clarity at the bar sometimes when I'd be with my friends and we'd all be pounding shots, and it would usually be when it would be me and a group of people, and everyone would like take a phone break to like post on Instagram or whatever they were doing,
Mhm.
and I would probably be teetering around 4 or 5 shots and a couple beers or a couple glasses of wine, whatever, and I would be sitting in the silence, and that's when it would kind of hit me of like, what am I doing
Yeah.
with my life? Why do I do this every night? Why am I, and it would just, and you'd get out of it, you'd shake
Yeah.
it off, and you'd pull open your phone and distract yourself too, like your friends were doing. But do you know what I would have those moments where like I'm out with all these friends and all of a sudden I'm just like, "Oh my god, I'm just drunk every fucking night.
Yeah.
Every fucking night, I'm just drunk."
Yep. And I kind of got that way just, like, with the spins and everything, and you always have that, like, you'd get the spins and you'd be like, I'm gonna stop drinking, I'm not gonna do it. Nope, no
Yep.
more. I'm done because I'm tired of this," and then the next morning, you're like, "Fuck, I got that headache. I need a shot."
Yep, yep, and then it's that vicious cycle that we always talk
Yeah.
about. It just starts all over again. "I'm never gonna drink again," and then all of a sudden you start to feel a little bit better, and you're like, "Okay, I can drink now." It's, like,
Yeah.
just so ugh.
Honestly, drinking made me not who I really was, and I think that's I feel like maybe that's why drinking made me feel gross and icky because I feel like the whole time I guess I was the imposter because that's not who I am.
Yes, I'm learning who I am. Like I was telling you over the weekend, like the smallest thing, I learned my favorite color recently,
Mhm.
and I've learned my favorite animal. It's just things I never knew about myself because I had always based my personality on other people's personalities and what they liked because I wanted them to like me. So I would be like, "Oh, I bet they like the color blue. I love blue," or it's just the stupidest shit. Where I've done that. I did that for so long that I didn't know who I was, and now a year and almost a year and a half into sobriety, I'm like, little things where I'm like, "You know what? I love the color orange." And I've
Yeah.
I've always never said that because I feel like I remember people in my past saying that they hated the color orange. And so I felt like I had to cater to them for some reason.
I did the same thing as a kid. I loved the color purple. I still do. It's my favorite color to this day. But I always was like, blue is my favorite color because I didn't want people to think that I like loved this girly color. Like,
Yeah.
here I am, gay and proud now. Fuck yeah, I love purple.
Yeah. So it definitely started at a younger age than just the drinking, I think,
Yeah.
just with the being a imposter because
Yeah.
yeah, and just but like we've learned before is like when you start your addiction, you stop aging mentally pretty much. So like I feel like I'm 20 years old again sometimes because that's when I was really starting to drink heavy and I'm just learning all these things about myself, what makes me tick, what I like, what friends I like to keep close, just
Yeah.
little things. I'm learning how to stick up for myself in ways that are more appropriate. And I don't have to freak out on someone just as the same as I don't have to, get beat up and get piled up all the time.
Mhm.
There has to be a little balance there. And
Mhm.
I'm learning how to stick up for myself in a respectful way that is good for everybody. And I'm
Yeah.
learning not to put LOL at the end of every sentence because I sometimes just have to say something.
It's kind of funny you say that because I feel the same way where I started drinking when I was 17. I just started college, and here I am now 2 years after not drinking, and I am a year and a half away from finishing college finally. And I'm almost 29 here,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm mentally back at that like stage where I was just like I am back in school as a sophomore or junior, and like I finally am like I know where I'm at because I've been doing school for these past 10 years, but 8 of them I was drunk.
Yeah. Did you
So
retain any of it?
I
It's like
retained nothing. So now I feel like this whole new life for me, and I mean I feel like you've seen how excited I am about where I'm going with my degree. I'm super like thrilled, that I found something that I enjoyed, and I don't think I could have ever found that if I didn't stop drinking because I mentally would have just been stuck as a 17-year-old my whole life.
yeah.
I could have never gotten past that, and like I am still learning. I still feel very immature for my age, like, and it's because I'm learning how to really focus on me, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's changes. It's
Yeah.
how it goes. I I was thinking about things from past relationships and where I felt like I was an imposter, and it's almost sick to think about how long I was in some relationships in my life and just not even there. And
Mm.
just I'm like, wow, I was with so and so for like a year and I don't remember one conversation we had. Like dead ass. Like
No, I get it. I
like
do.
don't remember anything we talked about. I don't remember anything that like we shared. We practically lived together
Yeah.
and I was just drunk all the time. And it's I'm sure he was a great guy. No,
You
he
stayed
wasn't.
with him for a year?
No, he was not a
Right?
good.
Oh,
I
no.
don't think he was a good
No,
person.
not a good guy.
But I mean, who's to say what's good and bad? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh,
Uh, anyway, with relationships, like
yeah.
I was saying, I've been through so many relationships where I didn't even know if I was there.
Yeah. No, I can say the same thing. I went through a year and a 2-year relationship where I, I was sober some of the time, but a lot of the time I wasn't, and I don't remember a lot of the stuff. And that's something that I take to heart now in my relationship because I don't want that to happen again anymore. I don't want to be in that same situation again because I want like who I'm with right now. Like I care so much for them.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to ever forget anything that I'm doing again.
Yeah, and that's, like, almost triggering when someone who said that to me? I don't remember. It was a couple weeks ago. Someone said something like, "Don't you remember last night you said something blah, blah, blah," and it was something because I was, like, falling asleep or something, but it was, like, so triggering for someone to say to me, "You don't remember last night when you said" I was just like,
Oh.
"What?"
No, no, I do
I
remember
do
everything.
I do remember, I swear. But
Ah.
anyway, that's what made me think about that.
No, it's so true. I never even thought about, like, the times that people have said that, and like, "No, I do remember." Like, I swear, because I do feel that way, like, when people tell me, like, "You don't remember that," or, like, "That's not what I said," and I'm like, "But it is," and, like, part of me is like, "I am so sober now, I have this super sober mind,
Yeah.
and I can remember every fucking thing that's" I'm
Yeah.
saying that word a lot. I'm sorry,
It's
everyone.
okay, it's okay. We're explicit.
We are explicit,
No, go what were you saying, though?
but yeah, no, I can remember pretty much everything that's going on throughout the day. Like, so when someone's like, "No, you didn't remember that," I'm like, "Yes, yes, I do. Like,
Yeah.
that's actually what happened, and I know." But then part of me is like, "But maybe I don't. Maybe have this like weary like beer brain from 2 years ago or something like that."
Right. I wonder how many events in my life I misremember
Mm-hmm.
because I wasn't there. But I was there. But there's so many
Ah,
events I've, like, big things that happened to me while I was drunk, like, 'cause, big things happen, you get bad news, you get, all these things,
yeah.
and you might be drunk while it happens. I mean, like, my best friends gave birth and I was drunk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's, like,
I
horrible.
do. I do understand that. Like, and I used a lot of like excuses for like things that happen to other people for me to drink, and
Yeah.
then another reason for me to forget why I couldn't be there because I was drunk because of this thing.
Oh my god, I always used to, like, use the excuse of, like, I just have to go home and sleep in my own bed, which really means I have to
Mm-hmm.
go home and drink more, or, like,
Mm-hmm.
I every single time.
All I hated staying over people's places because
Yeah,
of that reason, because I wanted to go home and drink.
and
I
drink like I
wanted to
wanted
be
to.
and I wanted to just sit and watch what I wanted to watch because when I was drunk, I couldn't be in any other like other person's level. It was my own level.
Right, and I knew that I had a mattress protector on my
Mhm.
bed, so if I peed in my bed that night like I did normally, like,
Mm.
I'd be okay, because how many times did I go to people's houses and piss their bed? So embarrassing.
Mhm.
So embarrassing. Someone and so many times people will be like, "Oh, did you spill water in the bed?" "Oh, yeah, I must have spilled a water bottle. You should clean that."
Yeah, I remember watching movies and being like, "That is such a cool person. They seem great. They're peeing the bed all the time. They're drunk. They're
Yeah.
funny."
Like, that's hilarious.
And then here I am like, "No, God, no, this isn't fun anymore.
Right.
It's not funny."
It's not, and no one's laughing but us at
No.
ourselves.
Nope.
Well, I think we could dive into this in another episode for another time too, because there's a lot more to talk about. But for today, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. I think it's great for today.
Aubrey, if people want to wear some stuff that has our stuff on it, or
Mm,
if they want
mm.
to check out show notes or find out anything about us, where can they go?
I think they can go to thesobergay.com.
Yes, lovely. And if you
Mm.
guys like Instagram,
Find us at the Sober Gay Podcast.
on Instagram. If you have
Ooh.
any personal questions or anything for us or anything, email us
Yeah, reach out,
at
please.
email us at
Oh, hey, I'm supposed to say something. The sobergay. Oh my gosh, this at the sobergay at gmail.com.
yes.
Whew.
All
Got
right.
there.
Until next time,
Stay
stay
sober,
sober,
girl.
girl. Oh, oh.